All right, today we're diving into something that's a pretty big deal in the world of AI. It's called Agentic RAG, and it's basically what happens when AI stops just finding answers and actually starts researching them. Let's get into how this changes, well, pretty much everything. So think about it. When you use an AI right now, what's really happening? You ask a question, it zips off and fetches an answer. It's amazing, for sure, but is it really thinking, or is it just a super fast librarian? One who's limited to the books already on its shelves. We're about to find out what happens when that librarian gets a massive upgrade. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at the problem, AI's current retrieval roadblock. Then we'll introduce the solution, Agentic RAG, and peek under the hood to see how these agents do their thing. We'll put the old versus the new head-to-head, and then wrap up with why any of this actually matters in the real world. All right, so first up, let's really get to the heart of the problem we're even trying to solve here. The way most AI models grab information today, well, it has some serious limits. And this is really the key, right? Asking an AI, hey, what's the capital of France? That's a piece of cake. It just finds a fact. But what if you ask something way more complex, like compare the real-time cost of living and the job market for a software engineer in Paris versus Lyon, right now? Whoa. That needs more than just fetching one answer. That requires actual research. The tech that's been powering a lot of the AI assistants you're familiar with is called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. In a nutshell, you ask a question, the model retrieves relevant info from a fixed, pre-existing database, and then uses that to build you an answer. It's kind of a one-and-done deal. But this system has some serious cracks in its foundation. Its methods for finding information are pretty rigid. The answers it spits out are static. It really starts to struggle when you give it complex, multi-part tasks. And this is a big one. It can't adapt to new information on the fly. Like a major news story that just broke 5 minutes ago. Okay, so this is where it all gets really interesting. Agentic RAG isn't just a small tweak. It's a completely new way of thinking about how an AI can tackle our questions. Let's see how it works. So what exactly is Agentic RAG? Well, it brings in these autonomous AI agents. You can think of them as tiny, specialized little programs that all work together on a team. And the key thing here is they don't just go and grab info one time and call it a day. No, they dynamically manage the entire process, finding the info, reasoning about it, and even polishing the final answer. Honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. Traditional RAG, that's your single, super efficient librarian. You ask for a book, they find it on the shelf. Simple. But Agentic RAG? That's a whole research team full of specialists. You give them a complicated project and they work together, they use different tools, and they come back to you with a comprehensive, synthesized report. It's a whole different ballgame. So, we've got this awesome research team, right? But how does it actually work? How do they all coordinate? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the mechanics. It's all about this dynamic, 4-step cycle. First, the agents make their own decisions, figuring out what info they need or what the next best step is. Then comes dynamic retrieval. This means they can pull data from all over, like different databases or even live APIs. Third, they generate an answer that's packed with all this rich, new context. And finally, and this is super important, there's a feedback loop, so the system is constantly learning and getting better. It's an active, always-on process. And within that team, you've got these different specialists, each with a super important job. The routing agent is like the project manager. It looks at your query and decides which agent is best for each part of the job. Then there's the tool use agent. This is your field researcher, the one who can go out and use external tools to pull in live data from the web. The react agent is the critical thinker, using a reason-then-act cycle to break down really complex problems. And finally, the one-shot planning agent is the master multitasker, figuring out how to handle different parts of your query all at the same time to be super efficient. It's a truly collaborative effort. Okay, now that we've met the team, let's put the old way and the new way head-to-head. This is where you'll really see the difference pop. I mean, this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the librarian doing static retrieval. On the other, the research team is doing proactive research. The librarian is great for simple questions, but the team can solve truly complex problems. The librarian gives you a fixed text output, while the team can give you all sorts of things, charts, code, you name it. It's a huge shift from static knowledge to genuine real-time adaptability. Okay, this is all cool tech stuff, for sure. But what does it actually mean for you and me? Why should we care about this leap forward? Well, think about some of these powerful use cases. Imagine
asking an AI to track a package. An agentic system could ping the shipper's database, check the local delivery services API, and pull up map data to give you a true, up-to-the-second update. Or it could compare live stock prices from different exchanges and just generate a comparison chart for you, right on the fly. For students, writers, researchers, it's like having a world-class research assistant on call 24/7.
So, what's the bottom line? You get an AI that's just fundamentally better in 3 crucial ways. It's more accurate because it can check and cross-reference its sources. It's more scalable because all those little agents can work in parallel. And it has true, real-time adaptability, which makes it incredibly useful for tasks that need the absolute latest information.